But if there is a conflict of interest when it comes to you yourself, for instance, you've received billions of dollars in federal contracts. When it comes to the Pentagon, for instance, which the president I know has directed you to look into.
Yeah.
Are you policing yourself in that?
And then you can see, am I doing something that benefits one of my companies or not? It's totally obvious. I fully expect to be scrutinized and get a daily proctology exam, basically. Might as well just camp out there. So it's not like I think I can get away with something.
Well, Elon Musk certainly loves to act like he's the king of transparency. He's letting Americans know exactly what he's doing, how he's doing it, why he's doing it. But the story of Tesla potentially receiving a $400 million government contract has even more twists and turns than we originally knew. Now, new revelations indicate that Donald Trump and Elon Musk were in fact engaged in some incredibly shady dealings. So let's get into what the details are. Ryan Grimm of DropSite News first broke the news of this contract. Originally, he reported that the State Department's procurement forecast, revised as of late December 2024, lists Tesla as the recipient of the largest expected contract, with Marco Rubio's department planning to buy $400 million worth of armored Tesla. The procurement forecast is listed as having been modified on December 13th, 2024, a month after Donald Trump's election. Now look, it was after Donald Trump's election, obviously, but he hadn't been inaugurated yet. He wasn't in office yet. It was, still in the transition phase between Biden's White House and Trump's White House. But in other words, the State Department would have issued a contract under Biden, not Trump. And I remember reporting the story, at the time accurately, because everyone else in the media, including Rachel Maddow, was presenting it as if it was Trump and not Biden who agreed to that kind of spending or grant toward Elon Musk's company. But the acquisition plan was set in motion by the Biden administration last year as part of a move to convert the Bureau of Diplomatic Security's fleet of roughly 3,000 armored vehicles into zero-emission electric vehicles by 2023. And by the way, that made sense. I don't believe for a second that someone like Donald Trump is looking to have the federal government buy a bunch of EVs. He's not really one of these people who has any concern about the climate emergency or anything like that. But there's another twist, guys. There's another twist. Because NPR actually got a hold of the document that suggests Trump was, in fact, planning to reward Musk with significantly more government money. So let's get into the details on that. NPR has obtained a State Department document detailing that Biden's State Department planned to spend $483,000 in the 2025 fiscal year on buying electric vehicles and $3 million for supporting equipment, like charging stations. So it wasn't $400 million, it was $483,000. It represented less than 1% of the hundreds of millions of dollars likely destined for Tesla vehicles after the Trump administration quietly revised a State Department procurement document. So Biden's State Department and Tesla had agreed to conduct research about armoring electric vehicles, but no money had been set aside to purchase armored Tesla. And while the State Department procurement document showering $400 million for Tesla was alleged to have been published in December, it doesn't appear in the Internet Archive for that month. That's weird. So to sum up, as Ryan Grimm explains, quite the scandal. Biden was prepared to spend a few $100,000 on Teslas for the State Department, and the Trump administration altered that to $400 million, then backdated the records to make it look like Biden did it. State canceled the contract after DropSite News exposed it. I mean, special thanks to DropSite News for doing journalism, which is hard to come by in this country, unfortunately. So that's what really happened. Okay, I can believe that this is something that would happen, of course. How shady and disgusting is that? So was this an accident or intentional? A former Biden White House official familiar with the State Department's plans says, I don't think this is a clerical error. It was likely someone who is new in the State Department who decided, okay, we're gonna do this with Tesla. Guys, do you really think that Elon Musk poured in hundreds of millions of dollars into Trump's campaign coffers out of the kindness of his own heart? You don't think that he's expecting anything in return? Namely, federal government contracts paid for by the American taxpayer? Of course that's the case, of course. The FAA just yesterday announced a massive contract for Starlink. And look, again, there have been many federal government contracts for Elon Musk's businesses. But it wasn't in the context of Elon Musk essentially being the unelected president of the United States, which it increasingly feels like he is. Now, when asked about the deal, the Trump administration said it was put on hold. A State Department spokesperson says that the Department of State has no intention to move forward with the solicitation. Yeah, because you got caught, and luckily they backed off. But it seems like Trump's own lackeys expected this kind of blatant corruption and wanted to get in on the robbery. Take a look.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's chair of the DOGE subcommittee. After she was named chair, she bought Tesla stock. How much did she buy?
We don't know exactly because the House ethics rules just require members of Congress to report them in kind of broad ranges. So she made 4 purchases. Each purchase was between $1,000 and $15,000. They went to 4 different accounts. So the total is anywhere between $4,000 and $60,000 worth of Tesla stock. She had already owned some Tesla stock as well that she reported on, but this was a substantial pickup to her holdings in the company. And now, she is working with Elon Musk, and he's been accused of slashing government to his own benefit there. There was the reports that DOGE had a contract to buy Tesla cyber trucks. So, it does seem opportunistic in some ways to all of a sudden you have oversight over this person running a government agency, and now you are tying your financial well-being to an extent to their company.
So as House Republicans pass a budget blueprint that would potentially significantly cut Medicaid, you also have the federal government engaging in all sorts of nefarious trickery, essentially, to provide more American tax dollars for Elon Musk's businesses. Pretty gross.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.